Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster run with Hunter under 40 power level. For my subclass, I'll be using Nightstalker. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using krait. For my energy, I'll be using Ogma PR6. Heavy will be Leviathan's Breath with the catalyst. For my helmet, I'll be using sharpshooting, 10th resilience, bow ammo finder, raping wellmaker. For the gauntlets, I'll be using counter charge with anti-barrier pulse rifle, overload auto rifle with 10th resilience. For the chest plate, I'll be using 6 coyote with solar damage with the resilience, concussive dampener, high energy fire, and 10th resilience. Next, I'll be using Reactive Pulse with the Arc mod I am forced to use. Bow Scavenger with 10 resilience. Next, I'll be using Beautiful Wells with Lucent Finisher and Solar Operative. This week will be my first completion for under 40 power level for Warden nothing. I decided to use Leviathan's Breath since it does have the unstoppable to stagger the champions. Now the really interesting difference is the boss and the ads are more tanky, and the hobgoblins, especially with the solar IQ, they can do a lot of damage. I decided to go for a safe loadout since I am 1580 in this video. Now you can see that I keep messing up my jump, so I apologize for that, alright? I was on my Titan off screen trying to finish story mode, you know, testing stuff, and I totally forgot I was on my Hunter. So I'm sorry, that was probably the worst jump ever on my Hunter. So I am going to go on top of this platform. You can also go on this platform Titan and Warlock. I have tested out. So I do want to clear down the ads from far distance since they can melt you. With the solar IQ, they could do much more damage. Grandmasters under 40 power is a bit different for me. So I don't know 100% how much damage the Overload Champion can do, how much damage the boss can do, so everything is completely new. Just to let everyone know. And this is when I accidentally killed the Overload Champion with with Leviathan's Breath. So one thing I forgot to mention about Leviathan's Breath is that when you do use the weapon, you can actually push champions to the side. Now, I didn't mean to do that. I actually wanted to use krait and show you how powerful it is. I accidentally used my Leviathan's Breath. I didn't mean to, and then I pushed it to the side, just like I did with the stasis turrets on Warlock, where I pushed the Overload Champion to the edge and abuse it. Well, I pretty much did the same thing on Leviathan's Breath, so I didn't mean to do it, but you can do it.
Let's move this prisoner. The cell blocks are up ahead. Tried to shut down the rail system to get us a clear path out. The Warden servitor cut me off.
So over here, I am going to be skipping a couple ads, just abuse the invisibility. The reason why is there's really no point of clearing them down because, well, there's no champions, so I just might as well just make my way and deal with the unstoppable champion from far distance. Now, I did Sparrow really quickly because since we are under 40 power level, being on our Sparrow, we could get 201 shot, which it is extremely dangerous. Always be aware of the goblin from the right side. Now, I didn't want to take down the 2 shielded cabals yet, so I want to take down the Hydra first so it could be distracted and not focus on me. Because the splash damage for the Hydra can melt even though it's not solar IQ. So once we do get rid of the Hydra, we can actually deal with the unstoppable champion with Leviathan's Breath. I was trying to hide a bit. I didn't want him to push because I know he's going to be throwing fire and it's going to melt me. Not as bad, but I didn't really want it to happen. And I am using Loosen Finisher, and he has barely any health. He's trying to keep himself alive, but it ain't gonna work, so I will take him down with the Finisher. Now, the reason why I'm using Loosen Finisher, as I said, is because I'm using and abusing the Loosen Finisher artifact mod for this season. So every time you do a finisher, you get 1 brick, or you get 2 bricks. It really depends, you know. But once you deal with that, then you can deal with the Barrier Champion from the left side. Now, the reason why I was doing Warden of Nothing is because I thought Warden of Nothing would be the easiest on my first go. But I was completely wrong. I should have done Inside Terminus first over Warden of Nothing. But it's too late. You know, it's done. I'll probably do Inside Terminus tomorrow. By the way, I'm not really sure if I'm going to go Warlock or Titan. Still debating depending of the power level. Hopefully I can make it to 1580 because I actually had a hard time reducing the power level for my characters, which it was completely annoying. Other than that, it's best to clear down the ads from the bottom left side. Since these solar are queued, they can melt you since they shoot solar. And I apologize for the train in the background. Every time I do a Warden of Nothing, there's always a train in my neighborhood. Just wants to be the sound of the background. But I'm not even joking. If you hear the train, that's in my neighborhood. I have no control over that. Outright, I have no control. So I'm going to be dealing with the Unstoppable Champion from far ahead. I'm going to make sure I use the finisher so I can get more bricks. Now I am going to be abusing it a lot. And if you see the bottom, that is the backpack. So they can one-shot you. So be extremely careful when you are using the finisher on Unstoppable Champions. So always try your best to use finisher when there are no hobgoblins or cabals shooting you, because they can accidentally shoot the backpack, or your grenade can shoot the backpack. And then you get one shot, which is something you don't want to happen, especially on under 40 power level. So just be aware and be extremely cautious when using your finisher, which is why I have the overshield, just in case something bad happens. At least I'll kind of survive, you know. Now if you're wondering what's with the turnabout, it's my pulse rifle. So when I break any shield and barrier champion, I get an overshield, which is completely amazing because it can really help out with specific champions like the Cabal machine gun champions, which they can 3-shot you, but they can 5-shot you if you have the overshield. If you're wondering over here, I'm trying to focus on the snipers. The snipers from the left and the right are the most biggest threat. They can one-shot you. And it can be extremely dangerous. So I always take down the snipers from the left and the right away. I try my best not to go above the stairs because I don't want the hobgoblins to spawn yet. I want to deal with the Hydra since it is a big issue. You can shoot the void and splash damage from where I'm standing from very far away, and I don't want to deal with it. So I just prefer to take him down, and then I will deal with the champions. And there's gonna be 2 champions from the far left side and the far right side, which everyone despises. As I said before, everyone's different. People will prefer to take down the barrier champion from the left side, or people like me will prefer to take down the barrier champion from the right side. It also depends of your loadout as well. So if I was using Stasis Warlock, you know, I would go for the right barrier champion, or I might go for the left champion if I was using a different subclass. It's completely up to you and the player's decision which one they prefer. So now I'm gonna deal with the hobgoblins. So I'm trying my best to try to get some heavy ammo bricks. So I'm using Leviathan and then switching to my kinetic so I can kind of trick the game of making it spawn bricks. So it can say that I took down the hobgoblins with the auto rifle, and then I can get heavy bricks instead of just having my Leviathan's breath all the time. So on this section, I have to clear down all the ads because I need to deal with the barrier champion from the right side. If I don't do that, then the solar hobgoblins are going to melt me and then I'm back to orbit. That's basically what's going to happen, so I don't want to deal with that. Which is why I just decided to go for a safe loadout. So I'm going to be using Leviathan's Breath. I'm going to deal with DPS with the barrier champion. Just be aware to take him down as fast as you can because a train can mess up your DPS or mess up of you breaking the barrier champion's shield. Now during this area, I was trying to see if I can do DPS at the bigger champion and then have the loosen finisher so I can get more bricks. So that's why I wasn't really too afraid of spamming a lot of Leviathan's Breath because I know I'm going to get more ammo back, and I also have the arrow scavenger or the bow scavenger so I can get more ammo, which I do highly recommend. If you're using Leviathan's Breath, you need to have bow scavenger. It helps a lot because you will run out of ammo a lot. So much. Unless you are 25 under power level, then you don't really need to put bow scavenger. I wouldn't recommend it too much. It's not really strict. So I pulled back here because I completely forgot about the Void Minotaur. So the Void Minotaur wasn't cooperating with me. It was just being stubborn, didn't want to, show up. I was trying to bait the Minotaur because the thing about this is he must take at least one down or he is going to pretend he's an overload champion and follow you, and then he's just going to melee you and then back to orbit, or could two-shot you. I don't 100% know because I never got punched by the Void Minotaur on this video, so I haven't really tested it out yet. But I want to take him down, one of them, and you could also take both of them down if one of them is bothering you. In this video, I did took down the second Minotaur because he was shooting this void beam at me when I was on the stairs, and it was kind of annoying. It was kind of messing up my shots with the hobgoblins. With the flinch, for console aim assist. But it is very interesting that all these ads and bosses, they all have these little skulls. So we definitely are under power level. So just be aware of the attacks of the Minotaur and of course the mini boss that will show up very soon. Now the mini boss was, shooting, was doing a lot of damage. So I was trying to be extremely cautious in using the stairway to take cover like halfway, not too much, and not way to the edge of the train tracks because the train can kill you if you're not careful. So I did use my super and then he teleported as he always does that. You can just use Leviathan's Breath. I do recommend just use all of it, even if you go up to 0. Just use it because it's not really worth of just using primary weapons because the boss is just going to be extremely tanky and you might get impatient. Plus, you'll have a high chance of having heavy bricks from the middle of the map as well. I was just double checking if the train left any heavy bricks, but he did in this video. It was so sad. I was really looking forward to it because it did leave a couple heavy bricks on my last video. So during this area, there's gonna be a couple of scions or these cabals, and I definitely took them down and make sure I stay away from the cabal grenades. Make sure you know when the cabals are throwing the grenades, because if they do get stuck on you, I don't know if you will survive. You know, it's a high chance you won't unless you have concussive dampener. I would say it can one-shot you with the cabal grenade, so you need to be very careful with it. On this section, there's gonna be the 2 unstoppable champions. Once I deal with unstoppable champions, I'm gonna go skip all these ads because, well, there's no more champions to deal with. I mean, why spend time dealing with the ads and abuse invisibility, you know? So I will take down the 2 unstoppable champions and then just make my way to the next area, the Bungie Champions. Yes, why? Because there's 5 of them and they can be a pain, especially if you have no idea what's going on. And the reason why I say that is because there's times where the Overload Champion can follow you, or the Beard Cabal Champion can just be a Bungie and then just 2-shot you. It's just a lot of things going on, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, this Unstoppable Champion is being such a scaredy cat. I mean, this is power 40 under. This Unstoppable Champion should be aggressive. It should not be afraid of me. I don't know what's going on with that champion. I was shooting the backpack because, well, it just felt scary, so I just wanted to shoot it. I didn't trust that backpack. You know, it could just explode randomly and one-shot me. That's why. Alright, so now I'm going to deal with the second Unstoppable Champion. Now he's being a little scaredy cat. Alright, Unstoppable Champion. Also, I did dodge there because I saw a grenade. I wanted to back away because they can be extremely dangerous. Alright, this Unstoppable Champion's being really awkward. I don't know why he is being a scaredy cat. He didn't do this on my Master Nightfall video, yet they do it on the Grandmaster version when I'm 1580. This is just so weird because I did a run with no unstoppable mod and then it was being extremely aggressive, and then when I have Leviathan's Breath, right, now it doesn't want to move. Alright, I'm gonna be using Loosen Finisher and then just make my way to the next area. That was just really awkward. I'm not really sure why he was being so shy. Champion, you know, things happen. They behave very RNG every run. Now I'm gonna be dealing with the Bungie Champion. There's gonna be a sniper, which I'm gonna take him down this time. I know in my other videos I always forget, but this time I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna be extremely focused. So there's going to be a lot of champions, and I always deal with the Beard Champion from the left side. Now you want to make sure this Beard Champion is distracted. So this Beard Champion was extremely suspicious, so I was trying to play Metal Gear Solid over here. You know, it's like, I do sense a guardian. I'm just going to turn back and harass the overload. So once he is distracted, you throw a grenade. You can use Leviathan's Breath if you have a lot of ammo. Here, I should have used my Leviathans, but I was just too focused on trying to break the shield. So this is one of the reasons I do recommend just having Loosen Finisher. Especially for this season, just abuse it. Please, abuse it. Because I know some players would complain and say, well, Blitz, you know, Loosen Finisher is kind of cheating. No, it's not. It's fun. We only have it for a couple weeks, so highly recommend just abuse it and use it for this season. Now I'm going to be dealing with the Vex barriers. Only deal with one at a time. I wouldn't recommend dealing with 2 of them unless you're on a stasis subclass, but other than that, I wouldn't really recommend it. Now, I was quite happy that the Vex champion, the second one, was not in the way. He was just too focused dealing with the other champions, which was completely lucky over there. Tiny bit of luck, because usually I had to deal with both of them shooting me at the same time. But it didn't happen in this video, which I was quite happy. Now, before I deal with Unstoppable and Overload Champion, I need to make sure to set off these mines. Now, these mines can damage you. They can slow you down. They can hurt your eyes, especially if your glasses don't have blue light. Or if you're not wearing glasses, it can hurt you a lot. And it did hurt me before I had my prescription glasses. Make sure you set off the mines. And once you do that, you can deal with the Overload Champion. Now, everyone's different. Now, the reason why I'm dealing with the Overload Champion first is because, well, Krait is an amazing weapon, but you need to make sure the Overload is not following you. So that's why I am making this Overload Champion to be distracted by the Unstoppable. Cool, it's a cool strat, you know. I mean, I'm not really sure who was the first person who invented the strat, but it works greatly. It works a lot and it's fun because you can just manipulate the Overload Champion, then deal with Unstoppable Champion, and it all depends of your loadout. Now, if I do have a strong Overload weapon, let's just say a scenario I'm using Osteo and I don't have Unstoppable, then I would deal with the Unstoppable first and then lastly deal with the Overload Champion. I'd probably even go to the top platform, to be honest, just to be super safe, but I'm just letting you know that everyone's playstyle is different depending on what loadout you have. And for me, my most biggest threat is the Overload Champions. Once I do the ballerina finisher, I guess it kind of looks like it, to be honest. Now I'm going to be dealing with the hobgoblins. I threw my grenade a bit late, so just be very careful. I want to deal with these hobgoblins because the last time on Master they were melting me, so I don't want to deal with that again on a 40 under power level because I already know they're going to hurt me pretty badly. So on this area, I decided to make this bear champion, pop his barrier, I'll use my super quickly, and then just take him down with Leviathan's Breath. I didn't really wanted to use Loosen Finisher since I don't really need it so much. You can also spam Leviathan's Breath as much as you can. I didn't really care too much because I saw bricks. So I might as well just abuse Unstoppable. Abuse Leviathan's Breath. So now on this section, I am definitely going to take down this Unstoppable Champion. I saw a grenade, so I backed away because they can one-shot me. And then I saw the Unstoppable Champion pushing, so I decided to defuse the mine while taking down the Unstoppable Champion. I did back away. If you guys notice, when they do throw grenades, just back away a little bit, not too far, because you do need to capture the plate. So once I do that, then I just go on B, then I go to C for last. So there is going to be a Overload Champion. You don't need to touch it or take it down because you can get platinum. You can get platinum, right? Without killing the Overload Champion. If you hear the train, I do apologize. As I said, I have a train in my neighborhood. What a perfect day, right? Warden nothing has trains. My neighborhood has trains. It's just going to be a beautiful day for a guardian. Alright, so I'm going to turn it visible and I'm going to capture this plate. Now, if I was on my Warlock, I would use my super. And of course, definitely use my heavy. Or if I was on my Titan, spam arc grenades, use my super if I do have it. It all depends on what subclass you are. So now I'm gonna be making these ads to spawn. I'm gonna be using the hand cannon. I'm gonna be using the scorch cannon and deal with these cabals from far distance. Now they do okay damage. I mean, I know I said that they are pretty good. I mean, on power under 40, I would say it's okay. It's okay. I mean, unless you weaken the ads and then spam the scorch cannon, then yeah, you know, it's okay. Not bad. You know, nobody's perfect, but the one thing I completely forgot and then I realized it is Leviathan's Breath can stagger the mini boss and also, of course, the bosses, and they won't even touch you, not even under power level 40, which I will make a proof of that since I realized you can do it. So now I'm just gonna make this boss look like a scaredy cat. So I'm gonna keep going for the precision shots, and he's not gonna even bother himself shooting the missiles to blind me. It's already so confused as it is. Yeah, I know this is kind of embarrassing for the mini boss to behave like that. But you can see how powerful Leviathan's Breath is. It's still a very powerful exotic, and they did buff it. Let's be honest, when we first was introduced on Leviathan's Breath, it was horrible. It was probably the worst exotic ever, and I used to make jokes about it. I don't know if you guys remember the triple bow video. I think I did that on my Warlock or something, and I was making a joke of how bad Leviathan's Breath is, and I was just showing it off, but now it's way more powerful and better. And it has the catalyst. Before it was just 10 ammo, and now with the catalyst you can get +5, which makes a huge difference. Now I am waiting for the dialogue, right? Because there's a bug. If you thrush on solo, there's gonna be this weird bug where the champions don't appear and then the boss doesn't appear. You have to do it in the right time, but I don't really want to do that, to be honest, so I just prefer just to wait for the dialogue and then deal with the Bungie Champions. Yes, the reason why I say Bungie Champions is because there's 5 of them.
What do we have here? You fought. You won.
And when I say there's 5 of them, I'm not even joking. There's the Overload Champion, Unstoppable Champion, then there's the Dex Champion, and then there's the Cabal Champion, the one with the heir apparent that they stole from the Guardian. They killed the Guardian, they stole the heir apparent, the machine gun, and they're just spamming it infinite ammo. For some reason, they stole the Titan's chest plate, so we won't have to reload the machine gun. I mean, that's what I feel about these Cabal.
He's got some grizzled veterans with him.
Now, first things first, I'm going to be focusing on the Overload Champion. You can see how amazing krait is. I am also using sharpshooting to make the perk last longer. You can see that using the auto rifle, especially krait with auto loading holster and the focus perk, can be extremely powerful dealing with the Overload Champion, even if you are under power level. Trying to hide this mini wall because I saw the bear champion from the right side pushing from the middle of the map, and let me just tell you that the barrier champion can 3-shot you, so I want to make sure I have a safe spot just in case he turns around and becomes a Bungie and tries to annihilate you. So I did take down a Unstoppable Champion. I'm hiding from the left side, this wall, so I can deal with the machine gun barrier champion. So just to let you know, this guy's dangerous. Alright, I think he did shoot me in this video. You'll see how powerful he is. Like, he's no joke. You can see here that for some reason my pulse rifle wasn't able to stagger it fully, which was very bizarre. So just be very careful with this barrier champion. You can see it did damage me. And I could have died, but because the oval shield saved me, I do recommend to have the turnabout. It really helps a lot. Not required, by the way, but it does help a lot for Grandmasters. So now I'm going to be dealing with the Vex barrier champion. I am going to be doing the mini cheese to the edge. Might as well. So to do this method, you must take down the barrier champion and then make sure you go on top of the invisible platform. There is another way. I did show the other mini cheese spot, but I'm not going on that direction. I prefer this specific spot, which I will show very soon. So it all depends what you prefer. I mean, I wanted to go for this platform. So you jump on this specific invisible platform. Once you do, you can just shoot, you can crouch and hide behind a wall and the boss can't even touch you, or even the mini ads. So this is basically where you can stand, you can spam auto rifle, and you can spam Leviathan's Breath a bit. When you do see half of the boss, then you can use Leviathan's Breath. But I was trying to save it so I could do more damage. Yeah, so during this footage, the boss wasn't really cooperating 100%. Later halfway he did. He was starting to get closer to my character, and then I was having an easier time dealing DPS with the boss. Mainly the most powerful is the auto rifle. When you do run a Leviathan's Breath, you can use the auto rifle and you can do massive damage with the weapon, especially with the Focus Fury. Now I ain't gonna do a mini time skip. I just do want to show how powerful the auto rifle is. Especially if you do run up Leviathan's Breath, you can still deal with the boss with the auto rifle krait. If you do see the hobgoblins or cabal trying to throw grenades, you could just crouch, or you could just throw smoke on yourself and then they'll just completely ignore you, and then you can go back to your DPS. It is interesting to do the solar under 40 power level. Still need to do more testing. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Making a mental note never to piss you off.
No hostiles on tracking. I'll bring the ship into transmat range.
Hey, I might be looking for someone to watch my back one of these days. To bring some major heat to a gunfight. You for hire? I'll be in touch.